Hello everyone. Today we are going to start you a new topic on the Python programming language, which we call the function. The function which included in the many programming language, because the implementation of the function is easy and the usage of function is simpler and is the paid way for the user or programmer, because the programmer can easy program the everything by using the function. Okay. And so what's the function? Function is a block or the set of the some operation in your programming language. Okay. And so this must be organized and reusable code to perform some actions or tasks. Okay. And so the standard definition of the function can be given in syntax form. We have the def keyword in Python programming language. In the C or C++ programming language, we should define to the function name, but with a return value. But in the Python programming language, we cannot do that, because the everything which is given in the variable types is defined as a variable, which means that if we define the dynamic variable in here, and so the return value is automatically calculated or find out by the compiler or the interpreter. Okay. And so we have the function name in here like this one, and so we can use the parenthesis operator in here. It's a calling operator, and so we can give the some arguments or the parameters in here, and in a syntax way we need to add the double dot in here. Okay. And then we can give the some explanation in here like this one. The function doc string keyword can be given in here, because we can explain everything related to this function by using this string operator, and so the interpreter neglect this string operator or the sentence, and then we can give this some information to the users or to the programmers, okay, which they are using the function or our function. Okay. And then we can give this some function code in here like this one. For example, the print or the some calculations or the reading the data or CSV file in here. Okay. And then we can write the some codes. We need to return the expression in here like this one. This is the basic syntax of the function definition. But what about the semantics? Semantics means that the real-time or runtime operation in here, and so in order to explain it, we need to create some example session in here. Okay. Firstly, we can define any function in here like this one, my print function, and we can give some input variable which we call str, and then we can give the double dot in here, and then this is the explanation of our function. Okay. And then we can give the print keyword in here. Hello guys, string is str, and we need to return something. In that case, we don't give any return value in here, and so we can leave this state as empty. Okay. And so how can we call this function? We can use the name of this function like this one, my print, and the IntelliSense gives us information. My print is the name of our function str any, which means that we can use any variable in here like this one, and so we should use this str as a parameter or arguments in that case. And so which is the none value, or this none indicates to the what the return value of our function. And so our function returns to none, or the void value. Okay? And so if I use this generation in here, this is my print function in here, like this one. And so if I run this code, the hello guys string is this is my print function. Notice that this state cannot be run or cannot be interpreted by the Python. This is only the information of our code. You can use it or you cannot, but maybe you need to use this value in here. Okay? And so this is the first example of the R function definition. Okay? And then we need to move to the example 2 in here, like this one, and also we need to comment the whole line in here, okay, by using the 3 comma value. So in the second example, we can create any function in here, like this one, def foo in here. And so in order to define our function, we need to use the double dot in here, like this one. And so we can give the print 1 in one state or one statement, and so we need to use the dot comma operator in here, like this one, the print 2 or print third or 3. Okay? And so we can define this function like this one in a one statement or the state line. Okay? And so we can print the foo, or we can call the foo function body in here, 1 2 3. Okay? And so this also used to the implementation of the R function body. Okay? But you need to remember that everything which is given in the Python programming language is a variable, which means that it's a dynamic variable, and so every variable has a method or property or the feature of its class. Okay? And so if we have this information, the function cannot be stated as a pointer like the C or C++, but if we can reach the dot operator in here, like this one, we can use some basic features in here, which is given in this module value. And so this foo is a function name, but also it's a variable. Okay? In C or C++ programming language, they cannot be used the function name because it's a specific address values of the RAM location. And so, but in the Python programming language, the foo or any function definition or any function name can be stated as the variable. And so we can also reach this value, print foo name. Okay? And so if I run this code and then this foo is given in in this state. Okay? And so this returns to or indicates to the name of the R function. Okay? And so these are the second example related to the function usage. And so the example third can be given in here. We can define many functions with the same name in Python programming language. In C or C++ programming language, especially in the C++, we can define the same name functions, but it's calling the operator overloading. But in the Python programming language, we cannot use this variable because every function name is in the Python programming language is also a variable, and so the foo can be given in here, print the first foo and return can be assigned at this moment, and so the foo is assigned to the what the first foo can be written on this page. Okay, but if we define again the new foo value or foo function, second foo can also be defined in here, and so if we call the foo again like this one, and so the second foo is calling right now, because this foo overrides this function, because the interpreter solves the whole the codes up to the down. Okay, and so if we have this code in here like this one, and so if we redefine the foo function, and so the last function is current for the what, for the last operations. Okay, and so if we have this information in here like this one, and so we can move to the another example in here. Firstly, we need to say that we can assign any type of variable can be given as a function. Okay, what does it mean? The foo can be redefined again, and so the print foo function is given in here. Okay, and so we can return the values of this type. Okay, and so we can print the type of foo like this one. What's the output of this code? Output of this code is the class function, which is special function which includes to the functions. Okay, but Python is an interpreted variable or interpreted programming language, and so this foo can be defined in here like this one as a dynamic form, but we can assign some new variable in here like 10.0, and so we can print our function body in here like this one with the type of foo, and so if I run voila, this foo is is transformed into the float value or float class variable or objects. And so if I have this information, how can I call this foo function in here? And so if we have this kind of information in here, foo is defined in here, and the type of foo in the first place is calling the function, and so class float is secondly assigned by using this statement. But if we state this function or this statement in here or this code, and so the foo is does not anymore to the a function. And so we can change the function name in interpreted programming language, and so this is highly executable in here, because we could define the foo as a function, and then in the next statement we can turn this foo into a variable or another class, float, integer, something like that. But we cannot use this foo again like this one. Okay, and so this is the error. And then what? We can use the comma value or the comment value in here like this one, and then assignment operators can be used in the function definition. For example, the foo can be defined like this one. The foo is given in here, and so the return value can be returned to the whole this def function as a none. But if we define the bar variable in here like this one as a foo, and so how can we calling this function or the bar function in here? If we are using the calling operator in here like this one, and also we can use the foo function in here like this one, and then if you run this code, the foo is 2 times written on the terminal page. What does it mean? It means that foo is a variable but which is included in the class of function, and so we can assign the foo name into the what? Into the another variable, which means that it's, in this case, it's called the bar, and so this bar is also used as a function. Okay, this is hard to implement this formation in the C or C++ programming language, but the Python is a dynamic array or dynamic variable structure in an interpretation form of these things, and so we can easily transform the every data or every function or every variable into the another one. Okay, this is a highly huge advantage of usage of the function or the Python programming language. Okay, and so example 6 can be given in here like this one. What about the foo1, or we define the many function in here like this one. Foo2 print foo2 return, and def foo3 print foo3 and return can be given at this moment. In the previous lesson we have talked about the list or the another type of the Python, and so we can create the function list in here like this one, the foo1, foo2 and foo3. Okay, and so the type of the function list, which is given in the what? The class of list. But the first element of the function list is given in what? As a function. Okay, what about this? If we call this function body, this is a function, and so we can call the call operation, and so foo1 is what? Is calling right now. Okay, and so if I change the 1 in here like this one, foo2 and 2, and then the foo3 is calling right now. Okay, or print new line can be given in here like this one. We can use the for loop f in function list, and then f can be called like this one. Foo3 is calling in here like this one, and so we can print the new line character in here, and then the for loops can be executed in the what? The foo1, foo2 and foo3. You may not know this syntax, but the for loops can be achieved by using this termination. But it's important to know that the f is a variable, but its elements is in the type of the what? The function class. Okay, and so we can call any function body by using this diagram, and so so many functions can be listed on this diagram, and so it's easily implemented in the what? In the function formation. Okay, and so we have, for example, a summation operation, assignment, and writing data function in here, and so if we create the function list like this one, and then just easily use the for loop in here, and then we can call every function body. Okay, we can design this code diagram, and then we need to move to the another example in here like this one. We may use the dictionary values or the class it's given in the Python, and so the dictionary is like the structure which is implemented in the what? In the C or C++ programming language, and so this is also be used to calling function via specific keywords. What does it mean? If we define the foo1, okay, and so print foo1. May not use the return value in here because this returns defaultly is the none. Okay, but you may use the empty return or the void value in here. Okay, foo2 and return. This two function return value is identical with the another one. Okay, don't remember that. And so they have foo3, the print foo3 return can be added like this one. Okay, and so how we can create the dictionary value or the variable? Function dict can be defined with the what the this idiom. The first is an assignment keyword in here like this one. Foo1 can be assigned like this one, and so the second is assigned or related to the what the foo2, and the third is concerned with the what the foo3. Okay, and so the function dictionary can be assigned with what the first value, and calling operation can be called like this one. With the same analogy, the second and third can be called in this notation. Okay, and then if we have this information in here, and so if I run this code, the foo1, foo2 and foo3 is calling right now. In the advanced implementation of the Python programming language, you may use these dictionary values or the list structures. Okay, and so it's important to know that how we can use this body, because the advanced Python codes, it's not easy to read. Okay, but this is easily simpled, analyzed by using these terms. Okay, and then we need to move to the another example in here. And so example 8, what about arguments in Python or the parameters of this Python? Firstly, you need to know that every type of Python programming language variables dynamically assigning a type of variable. Okay, which means that if we can use the any function name or the variable or the integer or float value, this assigned in the interpretation form as a what, as a class or object variables. Okay, and so if we know that, we need to analyze this function body in here. Def foo, we can define the x, y and z value by using the comma operator. And so this function, which is the name of the foo with the parameters of the x, y and z. Okay, and so three arguments can be given to what, to this foo function. Okay, and so we can write this value in here like this one, print y and print z, and return can be given at this time. Okay, and so foo can be called in the what, the Mehmet 1.2 and the what, the another list like this one, 1 2 3 4. Okay, and so if I run this code, the Mehmet is assigned to the what, to the x value, and so which is the type of the what, the string, and so this string is automatically finds out or the detect by the interpreter, and so this Mehmet is assigned to the x, and x right now is a string value or the variable, y is a float value, and z can be called to the what, to the list or class list elements. And so it's a huge advantage of using of the Python, because the if you don't concern anything about the type of the variables, and so this easy to implement any code and easy to fast coding in Python programming language. Okay, and so we can prove the whole this x, y, z in here like this one. We can print the whole this value like this. The type of x can be assigned in here, type of y and type of z can be given in here. Okay, and so we can recall the foo function in here, and then print new line. And so the first thing is the Mehmet is in the what within the range of the class str, and 102 is calling the float, and 1 2 3 4 is assigned or stored as a list element or list class type. Okay, this is how we can use the arguments or argument definition in the what in Python programming language. Okay, and so we can derive the sum, another example in here as a example 9. Okay, and so we can create another example in here like the def add operation which with the parameters of the x and y, and so we can print the result is equal to what the x plus y. Okay, and so we return nothing anymore. Okay, and so the add operation can be called with what 5 and 4 value in here. Okay, and then the result is equal to what, the 9. Okay, and we can also call the add operation with what 10.1 and 4. Okay, and so if I run this code, and 14.1 is seen on the terminal page. And so the Python automatically sees what's the type of this variable, and so this operation what is the summation, and then it turns into the type of the y as the float value, and x is the integer value. But add operation with the 10 and Mehmet. And so what happens if I run this code? And so this code is run, these two terms is what is writing like the upper side of this code, but in this case the unsupported operator types for plus, int and str, which is given in here. And so we cannot collect or sum the any string type to the to our function, but it's syntaxically it's correct, but in runtime we have error. Okay, so this is the runtime error. Actually everything which is given in the Python programming language is related to the runtime, but if you are using this code or writing this code, and then IntelliSense cannot warn you it's okay or not, because in syntax it's correct, but in the summation operation it's not. Okay, due to what different type of variable. Okay, we may use the 1 2 3 in here like this one, but if we are using these things, and so we need to convert this nomination in here like this one. Okay, and so we can move to another example in here, and then we can create some more complex example in here like this one. Firstly, in order to use any library in your Python program, and so we need to import the specific libraries which is given in the in the standard library of the Python, or you may use the any installer to download to the some tools. It's given in the online platforms, okay? But the math, it's given in the as a module value, or it's a Python program. And so if we are using, or in order to find out this math function, or if we want to use this math function, we need to import this keyword, okay, or this library. We can move to the math.py, and so this is written in the stdlib and math.py, and so this is the definition or declaration file of our math function body, and so you can use the every function in here. It's defined in the in the source file code, okay. And so in this case, or in this example, we can create some root calculation a, b, c, okay. This is a second order equation. A times x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, okay. And so our objective is that we should find the specific root values of this nomination, okay. In order to do that, we need to define the delta value in here, like this one, b squared minus 4 times a times c, okay. This is delta, and so if the delta greater than equal to 0, and so x1 can be assigned to the minus b plus math dot, we can reach the math module in order to in order to specify or use the sum function body, which is defined in the math library, okay. And so sqrt can be used in here, and so we pass the delta function or the variable in here, and then we can divide this term 2 times a, okay. x2 is also, it's given in the another level of the R programs, and then we can print the whole values in here with the f, and then x1 is equal to the dictionary value type of the variable in here, and then the x2 can be assigned to the x2. This is like the percentage %d, or the formatting values. It's given in the C or C++ programming language, okay. You may use this analogy or the simplest, the x1 comma x1 x2 comma x2, okay. So we can run this code again in here. x1 equals to the x1, and x2 equals to x2. You may use these two form in order to print anything in here, and else should also be given in here, like this one, print no root, because the delta is is defined in the upper or downside of the 0 value, or smaller the 0, which means that it's negative, and so this may be creating the complex root of our function body, okay. And so we may return this value in here, like this one, and so these roots can be given with 1, 2, 3, and so x squared plus 2 times x plus 3 is equal to 0. And so these are the mathematical formation in here, and then if I run this code, and then no root is given in here. But if I change the 3 with the 1, and so if I run this code, and so the x1 is equal to the minus 1, and x2 is equal to the minus 1, okay. Or 4 can be given in here, and so minus 1 minus 4 can be used or can be seen as a as our roots in here, okay. And so this is how we can use any math library in here, like this one, okay. And then we need to move to another example in here, which is related to the return values in Python programming language. Return value means that the function generates the sum values or the sum type of variables. in order to use this variable as an input or output of any main function body. For example, if we have the square function in here with the parameter of the x, and so we can return x times x in here, okay? And so num is a new variable in here, and so square can be assigned to the what? To this value. And so we can print also num in here, okay? And so if I run this code, and then we automatically have the 25 in here. But if we are using this diagram, and so the square function with the what? With the definition of these terms, and so this returns to the what? To integer value, because we should create the sum return value in here, and then if I use this term, and so we have none value in the what? In the num or number. But if we have this return value here like this one, and so we can have the 25 in here, or 4.9 can be given in here, and so 24.01 can be obtainable in the output of our codes, okay? or the foo can be defined in here. Print foo can be written on this page. We don't have the any return value in here, but we can assign the foo as a result, and so we can print the result, and then we may have the non values, okay? Because it's like the void parameter. It's defined in the C or C++ programming language, and so if you have the any function without return value, it must return the non value, okay? This obligatory or mandatory rule to what? To define the function implementation in your Python programming language, okay? Or we can drive the any example in here like this one. Get total value in here with the definition of the L, and so total can be initialized with the 0 value, and then for E in L can be defined in here, and total is equal to the what? The total plus I. This is simple summation operation in the what? In Python programming language, and so we may return the total value in here like this one, okay? And so the result can be used with the usage of the what? The get total function. For example, if we have the 1 3 5 7 9, which is a list, and so if we are using the list value, and so we can search every element in order to what? In order to collect or sum the whole values, add the whole values into one total form, and then we can print result in here like this one, and so 25 is also obtained in here. Or we may use the what? This total function in here, because the return value is everything for the print function, because the return value is assigned into the what? Into the integer type. And so if we have this diagram or this code, and then we can get the print in the what? In the by using the sum code or the function formation, okay? And so we need to use the command operation in here, and then the example 12 return value in Python should be continue, okay? And so how can we define the input output program, or how can we ask the user to the what? To give the 3 parameters in order to what? In order to calculate the correct values of the our function roots. And so def get roots is our function name. A, B, C can be given at this time, and so delta is equal to what? B times B minus 4 times A times C is given in here. And so if the delta is smaller than 0, return none. Okay, this is like the void value of our program. But x1 is assigned to the what? The minus B minus math squared. But we need to import the math library in here, like this one, sqrt delta, and so 2 times A x2 is equal to the what? Plus value. And so we can return the values of x1 and x2 like this one, x1 x2. It's a current and the mandatory rule to what? To return the two type of the variable in here, or we may use the list operation in here like this one, but it's the correct syntax for the what? For the usage of the Python programming language. Okay, and so how about the main function body? We can create some main function body like the what? Like the C or C++ programming language or C# programming language. A float can be converted in here like this one. Input can be used as the what? A, B, and C can be given at this time. Okay, and so we can create some result value in here, get roots with the parameter of A and B and C. And so we can print the type of the what? The result. Because the result is having more than 1. And so what's the type of this usage? We should inform the user to what? To type of this variable in here. And so if we have this information in here and then the result maybe none, because we don't have the, or we may have the any roots in here like this one, and so we should inform the user the no roots like this one. And so the else can be given, x1 and x2 can be defined in this notation, and so we can print the whole the values in here like this one. X1 is equal to the what? The dictionary operator in here, or fancy parentheses, and x2 the fancy parentheses in here, and then we may use the format operator in order to what? In order to fill this empty space in here with the generation of these things. Okay, and so these are two functions, and then we may call the main function body in here like this one. A can be given 1. I'm sorry. B and C should be changed in here. And so if I run this code, the 1 2 1, it's given in the what? The -1 and -1, and so voila. This type of variable is a constant value or the tuple. It's like the list value or list operation like an array, but if we are returning the any values like this one, and so this is the type of the what? The tuple. Tuple is like the list, but the elements of the tuple cannot change in the runtime operation. Okay, and so we can use some variable as a constant value by using the tuple definition. Okay, and then we need to move to the what? The 13 example in here like this one, and so we have one more the arguments in here like this one, the default arguments in Python programming language. Okay, what is the default arguments in function? For example, if we have any function with the name of the foo, and 3 whole parameters can be given at this moment, and so we can print the whole values in here like this one. A equals to the what? A, and B equals to the what B, and the C equals to the what the C. Okay, and so the foo can be run 1 2 3 in here like this one, and so A equal 1, B equal 2, and C equal 3. And so what happens if I remove these two last term and only one is included in function foo? And so if I run this code, the foo, the type error, is given the another warning or the error value foo missing two required positional arguments B and C. But we can define the some default value for the what the B and C. For example, if we are using the assignment operator in here, and then we may define to the what the default arguments, even if the foo does not include to the what the B or C value. And so if I run this code again, and then there is no syntax error in here, and A is equal to the 1 and B does not exist in the foo function body, and so the B is equal to the 100 and C is equal to the 200. This is useful. But if I write this code 1.2 3.4 5.6, what happens right now? Normally the default value of the B or C 100 and 200, but right now the B is equal to 3.4 5.6 as a C. This huge example of the what of our usage of the function. Okay, but what happens if we call the foo without the parameters, and so the foo missing the one required positional arguments? This is an error because A doesn't initialize in here, or if we change this A with the parameter of what A is equal to the 0, and so the whole the function body is running in the correct positions. Okay, and so we can set any variable in here like this one. Mehmet can be given like this one, A equal to the Mehmet, B 100, C 200. Okay, or we can define like this one the Kamil, and the Ali or 3 can be assigned like this one, A Kamil, B Ali, and C is equal to the what 3. Or we can give the what the Kamil, we can create the what 3 2 3 4 as a list, or we can give the 1 2 3 as a tuple variable in here. And so this definition or the usage are correct for the what, for the Python programming language. Okay, and so if we have this information, how we can use this notation in the implementation of the R codes? Firstly, we should create the some example session in here. For example, if we have the code of the some displaying the range like this one, start and stop value, which is equal to the what the none in the default arguments, and step is equal to the 1. These are the default arguments for the what for our code. And so if I run this code, and then 1 and 10 can be given to this code, and so 1 2 3 4 5 is written on the what the terminal page. Okay, this is standard for loop for the what printing to every index of our algorithms. Okay, and so if stop is equal to the none, which means that there's no ending point in here, and so stop is assigned to the start, our algorithm is running like this one, and so start should be assigned to 0. For example, if we have the start point in here as a 5, and so the start is equal to the 0, and 0 to 5 should be searched by using these algorithms. In order to seek or the search the every code in here like this one, for I in range of the what the start, stop, and step should be assigned in here, and so the print I endpoint is equal to the what the empty space. Okay, You may not know this, but this is the simple example of what the start and end point or stop point searching for in this operation. And so we can give the some print value in here like this one as a new line, as an empty space, and so we can return the hard code in here. Okay. And so if I call this branch function body with the 10, we can call it right now because the start should be assigned in here, but the stop is defaultly none and step is equal to the 1. Okay. And so if I have this information in here, and so if I run this code, then 0 to 9 is written on the terminal page. Okay. And or if we change to this to 5, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is running on this code. But we may change this branch like this one, 2.8, and so 2 is equal to the start point and 8 is equal to the stop point, and so 8 is not equal to the none. And then if I run this code, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is written for the first this branch, and this branch 2 to 8 is given in what, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah blah 7. Okay. Or we can change the step size of our algorithms to 80 and 5. And so if I run this code, the 2, 7, 12, 17, 12, 2, 22, 27, or 32, and blah 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 77 is the last page of our algorithms. Okay. Or we can assign the 0 value in here, and so this whole division of the bar of the 5 points in here like this one. Okay. So how can we use another example in here? Firstly, you need to remember that we can create some pattern by using the print function in any programming language. And so we can create the star or the triangle by using the star operator like this one. This charge can be defined as the n value, which is the number of the layer of these things, and so character is equal to, as defaultly, is the star. And so for e in range of the 1 to n plus 1, and then print hash times e, which means that this repeatedly gh is written on this page, and so we can print the whole this value like this one, new line character, and so we can return of this formation. Okay. And then what? If I call this chars in here like this one with the 3, and if I run this code, voila, this is a triangle or right angle triangle. It's given in this form, or we can use the 5 in here, or we can use the 10. Okay. We can create this pattern by using the for loop and the function body. Okay. And so if I change the 3, and then this is enough for us. But if I change these chars in here like this one, 3, for example, z, and so if I run this code, and then the stars is always same with the first one, because the default character of these things is star, but in the second place we change the default character with the z, and so the z is written like this one. Or we can use this term, or we can use this term. And so these are the simple example of how we can use the default arguments in C or in Python programming language. First, we need to remember that if we define the string value with the 1, 2, 3, and so I is equal to the integer s can be used like this one. So we can convert the whole print value in here 1, 2, 3. Okay, but the conversion may be changed with the ff like this one, and so I is equal to integer s, and so we can also print the I value in here. And so with the base of 10, this ff cannot be converted to the correct position, and so this integer with the basement of the 16 may be useful in here. Okay, and so if I use the 17 value in here like this one, and so this get me G in here, and so this is also useful for what? For the changing the basement of the R algorithms. Okay, you may use this diagram. And so in the last example we need to debate about the selection of the arguments. What does it mean? Firstly, this text can be defined with the two parameters. Text in initial, the hello is defined in here, and some characters can be given in the star forms. These are default arguments in here, and so the text can be written as the text, and so the print character can be written as the character, and so we can return the whole of these things. Okay, and so this text can be assigned with the what? For example, A and B, and so text A, and character is the B. Okay, this text C can be given at this time, and so in the second place we may have the what? We may have the text is equal to the C and character is equal to star. Okay, what happens if we want to define or use the default values of the text, but the character should be changed? And then we can use this formation in here, like this one. If we have any parameters in here, like the character, and so we can define this value in here, like this one. And so the first parameter is related to what? Text, but we may use this diagram in order to what? In order to assign to character value in here. And so if I run this code, the text is in the form of what? The default value, but the character is changed with what? With this text. Okay, or we may use the what? The JH is equal to the what? Z, and the text may be assigned to the what? The Python. This is not the standard tool for the C or C++ programming language, because the arguments sequence is changed by using this diagram, and so we can assign any arguments by using the special name on the what? On the function diagram. Okay, and so this is it's the end of the R session in here. I hope you have learned everything about what I'm saying in this lesson, and so have a nice day.